What's up, guys? How you all doing? So I wanted to talk to you in this video today about my Mac Pro, and yeah, I really just kind of wanted to let you know what my sort of feedback is after the first, what's it been now? It must have been sort of about 6 months, something like that. For those guys that were watching this channel at the time, you'll know we waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, and eventually it did come in, and I was so excited. And do you know, I remember exactly what happened. On the Friday was the day that it was meant to be delivered, and Apple or UPS or whoever it was made a total screw up, so I ended up having to wait the whole weekend, having already waited about 2 or 3 months for it to arrive, And then when it did, I had all the smoke machines and all that kind of stuff, and we did a little bit of a kind of cool unboxing for you guys, something that you guys asked me for, really. But I wanted to kind of let you know, sort of 6 months on, what my thoughts are on it now. And I've got to say, I'm still ridiculously impressed. In fact, you can see that there's all the cores there. Just how good this machine is. It really has revolutionised my workflow. And a lot of people may say, you know, what a load of bollocks. How on earth has it done that? Well, going from my old Mac Pro, the 2010 Mac Pro, which was a quad-core machine, had a lot of memory in it, and it had an SSD, but it was only a slow SATA bus, so couldn't get the full kind of SSD speeds out of it. And rendering 4K took forever. And obviously, while it was doing that, you couldn't do other things quite so well. The graphics cards were very outdated. 1GB 5770 graphics cards, whereas this thing's got huge graphics cards. I think they're 6GB. Are they 6GB? I can't even remember the specs now. Is it 6GB each or 3GB each? I don't know. Someone will tell me in the comments. I've literally completely forgotten. And I suppose that's kind of tells a little bit of the story, because you just don't think about the specs anymore, because it just eats up absolutely everything. The way that I work, some of you will already know this, is I use desktops on the Mac. In fact, let me grab my mouse here. So I have different workflows. At the moment, I've got them all shut down, but you see how I've got wallpapers that kind of illustrate, if you like, the different workflows that I have. So let's say on this screen here, I have this set of screens, this desktop, whatever you want to call it, this space, I think it's called. This is just your general stuff. I've got my CCTV going on at the top here, performance monitor, a bit of Twitter. I'll probably have a TV thing over here. I'll have maybe something else going on these screens as well. And then in the middle is sort of like for your web browsing, you know, whatever is your main kind of thing going on. So for me, that's my kind of workflow one. That's your just everyday sort of stuff that's going on. I'll email clients, that's kind of thing, Facebook, whatnot, Google+. I've created an app for that using some program that creates an app out of a website. I've got one for Facebook, one for Google+, etc, etc. Anyway, so yeah, so that's kind of workflow one, if you like. Workflow two would generally be around the kind of IT work that I do. So I would have things like the VMware Horizon client, the Citrix receiver. I'd maybe have some RDP sessions, some Microsoft Remote Desktop sessions, and I would have loads of connections to all of those different systems, possibly even some virtual machines running on this machine itself, so using things like Parallels, for example, or VMware Workstation for Mac. Either way, that's kind of workflow two. And then workflow three really is around the kind of trading, spread betting, Bitcoin, and on there I have a whole bunch of tickers open. I mean, it literally just fills up the whole screen with all of my stuff that I have going on. Graphs for this, graphs for that, Bitcoin tickers, blah 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 blah. Just a whole thing of information to look at. And my way of working is, like I say, if you imagine these wallpapers to be these different workflows, I just flick through them like this. And sometimes I actually am going from one to the other to one to the other really quickly. On my Mac Pro 2010, this process of switching screens here, spaces, actually took a few seconds to happen. Not a few seconds, it took a couple of seconds, but it was so irritating. So you'd switch, you'd wait, you'd do it, you'd go back, you'd switch. It seemed like I was constantly waiting for things, and then obviously if you were rendering in 4K at the same time, you can forget doing all of that. It just literally went out of the window. Whereas this, you can see, I mean, I'm rendering 4K now, and this thing is just boom. Actually, I think my render's finished. But anyway, regardless of what you throw at this machine, it is insanely fast. Absolutely insanely fast. If you remember, I did over on the main channel, I did 2 videos. I did the 64, no, was it 32 gig or 64? I think it was 64 gig, wasn't it? RAM upgrade. Again, I've completely forgotten the specs. I think it was a 64 gig RAM upgrade, and I also did the upgrade to the 10 core CPU from the 6 core CPU. And when I got the machine, I wasn't really kind of planning on doing that. Otherwise, I would have got the 4 core and blah 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 blah, and I would have upgraded it like that. But once I saw one of my other viewers doing it, and I looked at the price and worked out, you know, all of the kind of economics of it all, and I put that in the video as well. I decided to do that 10 core upgrade, and it just has worked so well. I've still got the 6 core processor, which I keep just in case of some warranty issue or something. But with the 10 cores, this machine absolutely flies. It really does. And I no longer get, when we've got a lot of stuff open, like loads and loads of applications all spread across different spaces, quite often there was some delay in the actual updating of the applications themselves. And that was a bit of a nightmare. That kind of slowed me down quite considerably. Plus, when I was setting up kind of test environments in VMware using ESX and Citrix and a whole bunch of other stuff, the wait, you know, was just wait, whereas this thing's instant all the time. So I am overwhelmed with the purchase. The upgrade to the 10 core and the RAM upgrade was totally worth it as well, definitely justified. And if you actually work out, you know, if you think that I sit at this machine X number of hours a day, and this is what brings me the vast majority of my income, I mean, it will have paid for itself dozens and dozens of times over very easily. And even the improvement over what's gone before would probably have at least paid for it a couple of times as well, in the time that I have saved from waiting for things to happen and been more productive myself. Plus, not only that, I don't know about you, but waiting for stuff is not my strong suit. So taking that stress out of my life has made my my own productivity a happier one as well, which is very important as well, especially when you're sitting around, you're working from home, you're working, you know, you're alone, etc. So yeah, I guess that kind of puts it all into one kind of package, really. Yeah, that's it. But I wanted to just tell you guys, just to kind of give you a bit of an update about how I've sort of found it and what I found the pros to be. In fact, let me think about what the cons are. I'm not doing this on purpose, by the way. I'm actually genuinely trying to think of a con. I probably should have tried to think of one before, but then if I can't think of one within 30-40 seconds, then that probably means there aren't any. It's silent, it's quiet. Sorry, it's quiet, it's silent, that doesn't make sense. It's silent, it's cool as well, it doesn't run hot, that's what I meant to say. That's a huge improvement. Much smaller space as well, that's a big plus. Performance, big plus. Yeah, there aren't really any downsides to it, to be perfectly honest. I can't think of anything negative at all. And when we get Yosemite, with all of those extra upgrades as well, I'm really looking forward to getting that over onto here. So we'll have to see how that's going to work when that comes out. But anyway, guys, that is it from me today. I'll be back with you tomorrow. My wedding ring has come in at the Bulgari shop, so I'm pretty goddamn happy about that, because I was worried that that was going to take a long time. They told me it would probably take like about 2 months, but they've got it in like 2 weeks. Someone there is retarded. But anyway, yeah, so I'm really happy about that. So I think I'll probably have to go and pick that up tonight. My wedding, actually, as well, you have to have paid for it completely by Tuesday next week, the 8th of July. So all people that have been, you know, put a deposit down and then they've been paying bits off, or however they've kind of done it, they've got to pay it by the 8th of July. So that's it after that. We'll know exactly who's coming, exactly who's not coming. And that's going to kind of make everything easier with the planning. At the moment, I think we've got about 20 to 30 people coming, which is pretty goddamn good considering it's in Mexico. But anyway, and I've said but anyway about 10 times. But anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.